Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Fitfam. As normal, behind all this fun food is Miss Olympia, Miss Natural Olympia, Hilary.
And this is the formulator, Doug.
So this has been in the works for a long time. Like those who listen to our podcast, you always hear Hilary. But we have a new one coming up pretty soon, and it kept getting pushed. And as soon as we bought out Trader Joe's and I don't know whoever else,
Everywhere. We
and
bought out everywhere.
but we're excited because this is something that I think is the most requested, thing, honestly, from for sure you is about what do I eat? How do I make choices?
Yeah, and this podcast is coming with a disclaimer, okay? And I'm making that right now. I am not in all of these options giving you the healthy option, right? Some of these are just the tad bit better bad option. Like, we're just getting down to the nitty gritty. And of course, our goal is to always eat less processed food. Okay, that is the goal. But as we're making that transition, sometimes we need steps. And so that's kind of what this podcast is. Like, here's the steps you can take to kind of break your Oreo habit. By the way, I had no idea how many people loved themselves some Oreos.
Yeah, Oreos was on one of the top of the list, right?
Over and over again. So that was interesting. I mean, I love Oreos, but I had no idea. Anyways.
And the thing too is that is important from my aspect with this is to help people understand that some of the things that we didn't have to worry about in the past, we have to worry about now because of the accumulation factor. And
Right.
We've spoken about it before, but this podcast is really going to express the overall picture of why we need to worry about the foods we eat, even if we make small changes, because 10, 15 years ago, we didn't come across the chemicals that are in our foods now, in our environment now, in our water now, the radiation from the cell towers, cell phones in our pockets, lowering testosterone. We didn't have all that all the time.
Yeah.
And so we got enough reprieve from the chemicals and all of these things that our body was able to regulate and stay in check for the most part, especially if we tried to eat a little bit healthier and exercise.
Right. And I think the other thing that goes along with that is in years past, 20, 30 years ago, people made most of their food in the home. Even if they weren't making the healthiest dinners, they were still making their food at home.
There wasn't the
It
extra
wasn't
chemicals.
right. It wasn't prepackaged. They weren't driving through drive-throughs to get their food. So because that has kind of become what happens more and more often, that's where we are, right?
Absolutely. So it used to be that once every 3 days people would eat out or have fast food. And now it's actually an average of once a day, if not twice a day.
Wow.
And so that has been a big move. And a lot of people say, well, hey, my mom used to cook and fry things, or she would,
Right.
these different things that are bad. But although it's bad to have the fried food in that, it actually many times wasn't as bad as this onslaught of chemicals and processing. And that's the point we're trying to make, I think.
Yeah, and that's the point we're trying to make. And then we will also kind of discuss our favorite brands as we conclude and why they're our favorite brands, and maybe also the cleanest brands.
Yeah.
But let's get going. Are you ready to start?
We're ready. Just one more thing on that.
Okay.
Okay. I know we're excited to start talking food, but I think that, the baseline as to why, again, just to, finalize that if we can, is that each of us have trillions of cells. And we talk about the cells being a microcosm of the whole body. And we want to really keep reiterating that if you take care of your cells, you take care of the whole, how your cells vibrate, how they take in nutrients, how they process, how they recuperate from the daily activities will determine how your whole body does. And what these chemicals are doing to the body that are in the processed foods is they're clouding the cell. They're putting a film around the cell so they can't function at their highest level. We can't function at our highest level. We don't think as clear. We don't have the clarity. We don't have the energy. We don't have the focus and be able to stay with tasks. And we're not able to be present in the moment, to enjoy the moment, to then understand what people's needs are and serve them. And so a lot of this has to do with that. You want to keep the cell clean. You want to be able to not have that film around your life, around each individual cell. And as we go through some of these, we'll talk about some of these chemicals and things that are in these foods here that aren't allowed anywhere else in the world,
Right.
because the data shows that.
Okay,
Right?
I love that. And
That
then
good?
also, yeah, perfect. And then I also want to say, as we're going, or maybe at the end of the podcast, I will also give a few tips and tricks that I've learned throughout my years of raising my kids and being with my grandson, and things that kind of help them to want to make the better choice, or to give them the option of only the healthier choice. So, okay. So here's where I'm going to start. I'm going to start with Takis, because other than Oreos, Takis was the thing that people were like, my kids love Takis. They want Takis. They want.
Are they here somewhere? You know.
So this is, and there's different flavors of Takis, but I do want to kind of talk about this. And I didn't hit price for most of these things, but I did want to point out that so this is from Trader Joe's. This is our better, still bad, still not good for you, but this is our better option for our, can you hold that up? Takis. Okay. So, and what's interesting is there is almost 3 times the amount of chips in this bag versus this one. And there was a not even 50-cent more for this one. So you're getting way more bang for your buck when you are purchasing this one. This comes from Trader Joe's. So the reason I would prefer this over this one, their macros are almost exactly the same. They both have a laundry list of ingredients, okay? The difference with this one versus that one is the Takis have MSG, and Doug's gonna...
This one versus that. For those of you just listening to this, rolled corn tortilla chips, chili and lime flavored, from Trader Joe's is the one, the healthier option.
Yep.
Right? And then just the
Versus
straight
Takis.
Takis. Okay.
Versus any of the Takis. So the number one, or one of the things, was MSG. You want to go into MSG?
Right. So Takis have monosodium glutamate, and MSG is absolutely one of the worst preservatives there are. And more people are becoming sensitive to MSG. And the thing about MSG is a lot of times people, it's like lactose intolerance. At first, people don't know that's what it is. Like they eat it, they have something with MSG in it, and they're not feeling good, but they don't really relate it to what they just ate, because it just starts slowly, and then it builds up to where one day they're like, wait, I got really sick from eating this, and they finally get to that food.
Right. Or you know immediately. MSG doesn't affect me immediately, really at all. I wouldn't probably know. However, if there's ever some time that we're eating out or something, we almost know immediately with Doug. MSG hits his stomach, and it's a no-go. It's pretty bad. So
monosodium glutamate, at 100% on the labels, you should look and make sure that it doesn't have MSG in it, because whether it affects you immediately like myself or over time, what it does is it makes it so the cell cannot communicate properly with the other cells of the body, and that's part of the problem, and it actually starts in the gut.
Perfect. So it was that. There is also dyes in the Takis.
Right. So there are specific dyes in the Takis, the blue and red dyes that, again, aren't even allowed in other countries, especially European countries, and that because of the damage that they cause. And it does come down to cell communication again, but there's also showing proof that it can be carcinogenic, cancer-causing. And but remember, the dyes are created here from the pharmaceutical and processed food companies, and that's why the legislation allows these dyes still in America and yet nowhere else in the world, because the research proves it. It's just the lobbyists override it.
Okay, so if you'll put this right behind you over there.
Okay, so rolled corn tortilla chips, chili and lime flavor from Trader Joe's, much better choice than Takis, and the flavor of them, kids really love it.
Yeah, I think it's that spicy that kids love. I don't so much love it. You are not about to.
I've never had one before.
Oh, are you going to try each thing that I?
No, just a few of them. I've never had them.
Okay, tell me what you think. Okay.
Those are really good.
I know. They're not healthy, Douglas. Okay, so next, big on the list was CHEEZ-ITs. Just normal CHEEZ-ITs are healthier, not necessarily healthy, but our definite healthier option is the Annie's cheese squares. And I'll just say it right now, when my kids were growing up, and even now, Annie's is one of my more favorite healthier options for snacks and
Brands.
for brands, sorry. And that's because Annie's still kind of offers the same flavor. They just are all organic, and all of Annie's are non-GMO products. So I super love that.
About GMO.
Yeah, let's talk about GMO.
So genetically modified organisms, what's happened is that over time, in order to at first just help the crops be more hardy and stronger and be able to flourish more and get more bang for the buck, the concept was, hey, can we do something to help the seeds in that be able to perform at a higher level? And then it got to a point where, wait, we can actually modify them by taking different DNA from other things and putting into it, and it changes the genetic structure of that seed. And therein lies a problem. And the first was a flavor saver tomato that we've talked about, but they took the DNA from a firefly and put it into a tomato to make it be able to last longer and all that. And so when we have GMO on a label, then we absolutely know that there's some modifications in there, and we don't know all of the effects of that. I have a little bit of
you got some
fake talkie.
fake talking.
And so we want to stay away from GMO basically at all costs if we can, because there are healthier choices that don't have genetically modified
Exactly.
nutrients.
Perfect. And so the other thing is that Annie's is whole wheat, and then this CHEEZ-IT is enriched. As far as flavor, they're not exact, but this is really, really close, and it's very good.
So on the Annie's too, when Hilary talks about wheat, then it's important to look at the label. And what you want to have on the label is organic wheat flour, something like that. It's not, bleached, added back, vitamins and nutrients in them, things like that. And you're going to look for that. You want to make sure that it's the true whole grain, whatever grain is being used in that formula. And so the question comes up as to why. Why is that important?
Mm-hmm.
Well, when white flour was first made, when they pulled the nutrients from regular wheat and any type of grain flour, and they pull the nutrients out to create white flour to be able to make it last longer, and it can help with countries that needed, just needed some type of sustenance. But for the most part, then when they pulled it, they started realizing that people started getting sick from white flour. In fact, there were deaths from white flour because people started just having it and not getting any nutrients, no nutrient density. And then the government came out and said, okay, you no longer can sell white flour unless you add back the nutrients that is taken out. But the problem is they add back some of the nutrients, but they add them back synthetically. So we don't want to have white flour products because, one, they cause death, but then they add back the nutrients so they don't cause death, but they're synthetic so that they actually disrupt the body. And it's that powerful. I want you to really take that on. You're like, oh, what's the big deal, Doug and Hilary, about white flour? Is it that big a deal? It really, really is. And so you want to make sure on the label that you get just the straight grain of flour when you have these choices.
And then there is, so in this one and this one, seed oil. The difference with the seed oil that is in Annie's is everything in Annie's is non-GMO and organic.
Is it seed oil time?
I think it is seed oil time.
Let's talk seed oils. I mean, we could do a full podcast on seed oils because it's just like this huge thing out there in social media, right? You can't look at TikTok or Instagram and that without seeing someone's feed showing you, here's how seed oils are made, and it's the worst thing on the planet, and you never should have them. And then you have the other group saying, really, are they that bad, and talking about it. So you want the truth?
I want the truth.
You see if you can handle it. Okay. So the deal is this, is that seed oils are not inherently bad. They're not. They're the oils from seeds. And that's not the worst thing. In nature, we have fats, and we talk about different fats, and we have fatty acids. We have, for the sake of this podcast today, we have omega-3 and omega-6. Both are good. It's just because we overload the body with too much omega-6, which is in a lot of the seed oils, and that the balance is off. And so we need to increase our omega-3. So we hear about that a lot, why we need more, to work on the flaxseed, people that take fish oils, things like that, borage, algae oils, things that give us the omega-3s a lot more, olive oils, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so we do have that. That is true. We need more omega-3s. But the problem is with the omega-6 from the seed oils and that is that if you heavily process those seeds and in the processing to get the oil out of it, then there can be more damage. And we create things called trans fats, right? And fats that cause cancer. So what happens is in the old days, when you had the seeds, they would go through what's called a wet extraction method. And that's where you just hull them, you crush them, and you boil them, and you get that oil.
Okay.
Okay. So that's good. There's nothing
Yeah.
really wrong with that. Then it's just a matter of the balance between omega-3
and omega-6.
and omega-6.
Okay.
But nowadays, to be able to speed the process for scaling, they take it and they use a mechanical extraction process. And within that process, they use an ingredient called hexane, Hexane. And hexane is actually a neurotoxin. It causes major issues in the body. There's a condition called polyneuropathy that can be caused from hexane. If you breathe hexane in, it causes major damage. It's just all bad. And so that's the problem with most of the seed oils now today. So what do you do?
What do you do?
We do is you look for the word organic, like you mentioned. When you see the word organic and then it has a seed oil, right, like safflower, sunflower, things like that, you don't have to be as concerned because in order for it to be organic, right, they can't use hexane. And so that's really the key. So hexane is the key. So look for organic if it does have a seed oil and you're going to have a seed oil with something. I know a lot of people want to cut them out completely. Personally, I think that you should just limit them because of the amount of omega-6. Make sure your omega-3 is high. And when you do have them, make sure they're organic because then they're not using hexane. They're using the old school best way of doing things is using the water extraction. So don't freak out completely on it. Just choose the right types and make sure you have the good balance.
Okay, grab
okay?
that guy. That was great. And stick it over there behind you.
Stick it over
I
there.
hope he does this with every single one we do. Actually, I think you should.
That actually tastes like I haven't had CHEEZ-IT since I was like.
I'll be honest. I've had a CHEEZ-IT because when I'm done competing, oftentimes I'll eat
It's probably been
CHEEZ-IT
20,
or two.
30 years, but that's actually legit.
That's great, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great option. Can you close it though? Because eventually
I thought it
somebody.
was open because our grandkids was down.
Well, maybe or just kids.
Kids.
So on that same vein, we're gonna just kind of jump into some of these other ones. So we have goldfish. I was actually surprised to know that the colored goldfish actually don't have dyes in them. So they are choosing, the paprika and turmeric and, different things. So
some of the best herbs that we use with our doctor formulas for conditions we have turmeric in that. So that's not bad. And the goldfish, help me if I'm wrong, are baked, right?
yes, I believe they are baked. Yep. So these are baked, as well as the better option, which is the Annie's brand. Again, same concept as the squares. The difference is the shapes, right? The little ones, they like the characters and the shapes. And so the bunnies are a great option over the goldfish.
Yeah, and even though that there's a lot, the ingredients aren't the worst for the goldfish as some of these other processed foods. Because we don't have the dyes and the colors, we still have some ingredients in here with the synthetics and some of the ingredients that they'll use to actually help with the flow to create them.
Yeah.
High processing that aren't the healthiest.
And you can look at that label too. And then also it's the enriched flour in the.
Yeah, they're not
in the
using
goldfish.
organic wheat flour that they're using with the Annie's brand. So again, Annie's wins. But
There's another option
if you're
for.
going to have something that is, not healthy for you, but is still not the worst. This one isn't the worst.
Yeah,
Right. But
yeah.
Annie's is a better choice.
And also I did want to mention with CHEEZ-ITs and the Annie Squares, both of them came in at $4.99. So they're both the exact same price. And
So these are like,
and this is a different option with it because it adds the pretzels and so it's like a little snack mix with
so it's
kids.
called Annie's Organic Original Snack Mix. And for those who listen on Spotify and that, you want to probably go watch YouTube one on this one today. But the thing about these is with the mix is that so popular now, and a lot of these mixes have some really bad dyes and different things within them. The parts of the mix itself is really, really bad. You have to kind of pick out the few things that you can have. And with Annie's, I love that because you're just getting the whole wheat, the organic wheat. You're getting, there are some Cheetos, but like you said, it's the organic, so they're not using the hexane. Much, much better choice with the Annie's for sure.
Okay, awesome. And then because my grandson right now is having some issues with dairy, we try to steer away a little bit from the dairy. And MADEGOOD has an option with their star crackers. And so I really do love the MADEGOOD brand as well. They use gluten-free flour blend. So they use cassava flour, they use oat flour. Also, still have some of the issues with the seed oils, but this one is organic. So it does give a little asterisk on it saying that those are organic. So, and then also with this, which is cool, is you're getting a lot of different vegetable extracts in it.
Perfect. And then a little comment on the Annie's with the pretzels. Man, used to go through pretzels like crazy. Just love pretzels. Those are good.
Those are really good.
And
Yeah, they are
healthy.
very
So,
good.
awesome.
So also on here, if you'll notice, they've got their everything that it's free of for allergens
Yeah.
for the ones that have the allergen issues.
So MADEGOOD Star Puffed crackers. What's really cool is Hillary's mentions, it looks like it's pretty hypoallergenic. So you have the 8 main allergens. Doesn't have any of those in that. So with the peanut, the tree nuts, the dairy, the soy, even the wheat and gluten situation, right? With
Exactly.
that. So using the gluten-free flour, I think was huge with that. So that's a great option for lactose intolerant, like you said, people out there.
For sure.
Great call on that.
Okay, thanks. So we're gonna jump into the chip section. Back into chips, we're gonna go with Cheetos, and then we're back into Trader Joe's. Can I just say I love Trader Joe's? I feel like their prices are very comparable, and they do not work with GMOs, and they don't have preservatives such as like artificial preservatives.
DHT, things
Yep,
like that.
and they don't use dyes. So I do love me some Trader Joe's.
Sponsor.
That'd be awesome. Okay, so with the regular Cheetos, first of all, they're fried, so that's a big no-no. We're changing our fats, and that's not good. And then it also has the MSG added to it. And MSG is a preservative.
Correct.
It's just to preserve the food.
That's why when you go to buffets and things too, you're like, oh, I'm going to go buffet and get vegetables and all this stuff. And you'll want the ones that are popular because the ones when they rotate, they don't put MSG most of the time. You need to ask them if they use MSG. MSG is put on a lot of salads and vegetables and things like
And
that.
Asian food.
And Asian food to last longer, especially when it's out, like in buffet style. So like when we do so many seminars with doctors and that, and a lot of times we'll bring out buffet, we make sure that they don't use MSG. So you can just ask them with it.
So for example, this is just the better of the bad.
Which is the better?
The Trader Joe's baked cheese crunchies. They are baked, so it's better in that aspect, but this does have the seed oils, and this one, it is non-organic seed oils. So keep that in mind with these.
So these Cheetos are all bad. Like I can't find anything good here. This one's got everything on planet, or like, let's get all the bad stuff, right? All the bad dyes, chemicals, MSG and everything, and mix them all together. No go, no Cheetos. Definitely switch to a healthier brand with those. And Cheetos was one of those I saw came up a lot in your.
You're gonna open those too.
And so Cheetos came up a lot though with people.
Oh yeah, no, cheesy, salty things.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, it is good. It's
Okay, so
but it's
90s, right?
the
80s
better
and 90s.
of the bad. It's not healthy.
Right, but when we had healthier foods, like healthy bars, protein powders, we took them because
terrible.
It was absolutely, we wanted to be healthy, and it tasted terrible. It was
terrible.
I guarantee I could cut up a cardboard box, or a lot of my food would come and be like, the cardboard would taste better than the food. We've come a long ways.
We've come a long ways.
The baked cheese,
have come a long ways.
Legit. What we used to do when they first came out with a lot of these healthy cereals is would tell the parents, buy one box of I know you're going to get to like Cheerios and stuff, but then pour the healthy brand in it. Because of people just really wanting the marketing, right? And they get used to the marketing. And I can't tell you how many parents over the years has said that is the greatest hack in the world.
So that is true. Another hack with that is when you're giving your kids their snacks, Don't give them the snacks in the packages that they come from, okay? Because they're also attached to the packaging. So, and especially as you're trying to implement new things and get them to kind of change their taste buds and their desires for what they want, that way you can open it up, put it in a dish, put it on a plate. I love the idea of like a mini charcuterie board, giving your kids options of things that they can have. But even in a small bowl or a plastic bag, add the treat that you're trying to do better at, and then add something else into it so that they start getting another flavor. And at first they may not pick out the ones that you put in there. Keep at it. It'll get better and better.
Especially going to school and stuff, because then the kids think, oh, they're just, here's Cheetos and things like that. They're like, what's that weird stuff that you're having? And it'll help a lot for sure.
Okay, so I'm gonna talk about a fairly new brand to me that I found that I really like. So I love me some popcorn, and the Boom Chicka Pop, I was like, oh yeah, that's good. 70 calories per cup. Oh, I'm doing great, right? Not so great, really. So when we're talking about sugars for 2 cups in the Boom Chicka Pop, we're at 8 grams. For the lesser evil, we're talking about 6 grams. Now, this is the sweet popcorn, so keep that in mind, okay? So we're less sugar over here on this side.
Which is what?
Which is the lesser evil popcorn Himalayan sweetness, okay? So that's the brand I would choose over the Boom Chicka Pop. The other thing is that there are no seed oils in this. They use, in this one, they're using coconut oil, and they're air popped. So that's also a huge advantage with these.
So the brand again is what?
Lesser Evil.
So Lesser Evil doesn't use seed oils at all. No. That's huge. So
this is extra virgin coconut oil.
On Lesser.
We love that. And then with the Boom Chicka Pop, they are using sunflower oil. With the fat content per 2 cups for the Boom Chicka Pop, you're at 8 grams. With the Lesser Evil, you're at 3 grams. So, and I'm telling you, this is tasty. If for some reason it's not quite sweet enough for you, because the Boom Chicka Pop is sweeter, then you can sprinkle a little bit of stevia on it, and it will hit that sweet spot for you. You're gonna like that, actually.
Boom Chicka Pop wins the name game for sure.
Oh,
Lesser Evil. They like
actually, to be honest, Lesser Evil.
You like that?
I love that. Oh. It's like, listen, we're still not, eating raw food, but it's the Lesser Evil.
Good part. That was really good.
It's very good.
Holy cow.
Yeah. Yeah, and the coconut oil just gives it an extra...
Non-cow, but yeah.
Yeah, really good, right?
I didn't think that they could pull it off using a non-seed oil to have that flavor. Mm-hmm. But they really, really did.
They did, and it has 2 grams more fiber per serving in the Lesser Evil than the Boom Chicka Pop.
And the thing with the sugar, remember, we want you to set a goal to have less than 50 grams of sugar a day.
And that's not counting your raw fruits.
Your raw fruits and berries, right? But if you don't count those, look at the labels of everything, and you're going to hit it really quick with like the Boom Chicka Pops, things like that. With this, man, you're there. You're good. You can actually watch a good Stallone movie or something. And
okay, put these over there. You're killing me right now. Okay, so staying on the same vein of popcorn, let's go into Doug's breaking things over there. He's getting all excited trying all my snacks that he's giving me. Giving me some issues for. So we have the Smartfood, right? White cheddar. Oh, Smartfood. I'm being smart. And then we have the Lesser Evil white cheddar popcorn. Okay, so it's the same concept that we talked about before. Per the same grams, with the Smartfood, you're getting 10 grams of fat. With the Lesser Evil, you're getting 6 grams of fat. You're getting more fiber with the Lesser Evil. And then with the Smartfood, you're dealing with all of the seed oils. And with the Lesser Evil, you are not. And it is still air fried. I'm not air fried. It's air popped.
Cool. So let's talk about stay on the seed oils for just a second, right? And so on the seed oil situation, you'll hear a lot about those. And you're like, well, what's a seed oil? You mentioned coconut. And that's not a seed oil. No, it's not. Olive. Nope, that's not a seed oil either. They've got a term out there called the Hateful Eight. The Hateful Eight, just so you can know them: rice bran, safflower, sunflower, corn, canola, cottonseed, soybean, and grapeseed. And that's your 8 seed oils that they call the hateful eight, but I really don't like that because it depends on how they're processed, right? So again, the organic, not using hexane, but those are the eight that are higher in omega-6 that most of us get enough of, and so we want to limit. But the key really is the form. You don't want a trans fat that's carcinogenic, cancer causing, that will impede the cell's ability to do its job. So great job again, lesser evil. Good on you.
Good on you.
I'm not a white cheddar type.
Yeah, you're good. But I did want to just so when we purchased the lesser evil, I actually went on their website and I went through it. There were many flavors and options that I had no idea they had. So I'm just going to go through some of them. They have like a fiery hot option.
Yeah, we started getting boxes at the house.
They have power curls. So they have the no cheese. It's like a Cheeto option, which the thing with this, why I didn't show it with the Cheetos, is that it is a different texture. Okay, so that one for some kids is going to take some getting used to. I thought it was delicious. My son Marley thought it was delicious. Raven tried it and was like, it's okay, you know.
This kid likes it.
This guy likes it, you know, but I don't know if that's saying much. Anyway.
Power curls, no cheesiness. Because I'm not the big cheesy white cheddar cheese thing, it does have a little bit of a flavor toward the cheese without, overwhelming.
Yeah.
And so I think that's how come some people like it enough. If you want that overwhelming cheese flavor, you're not going to like that as much. But if you're like me, where you just want a hint of it.
And it has a different full texture to me, anyways. It's just different than what you're used to. And then we have the lesser evil oh my ghee. So this one has ghee instead of the coconut oil. I'm just gonna go through a bunch of these. We have the nacho cheese puffs. There is the Spaceballs cheddar, which this one is actual cheese. I did try this and
very hot.
This one's good. I want you to try this one. I actually did like this one in place of other cheese balls. I think this is a great option. It has less fat, same deal. And then, they're using the avocado oil with this one. So rather than coconut oil, this one switches to avocado oil, which is awesome. How was that? Pretty fiery. Apparently, it's hot.
We might need a little time out. We're serious.
I don't know.
Holy
okay,
cow.
so if your kids really love the spicy things, you found your. Did say fire. It said fire.
Well, we're from Arizona. So they fire it hot. We're like, really? Like, give me
These, I think, are so cool. They're like little O's, so different shapes, and they're berry blast, so they have a little bit of a sweetness. Nothing is overwhelmingly sweet. It just has a mild sweetness. What do you think of those?
They calm the heat of the other guy.
Yeah, but did you like the flavor?
Yeah, I can't taste anything right now.
Okay. I'm gonna here. You can hand these back to me. I'll throw them back in this box, but I'm just gonna go through a few more. The Sun Poppers. Then we have like the pumpkin spice. I haven't tried this yet. I think it's going to be delicious.
Pumpkin spice what?
Popcorn. These ones are a sweet Spaceballs. So they're like a cinnamon flavor, cinnamon sugar.
So let's talk about that for a second. When cinnamon actually is one of the things that help regulate blood sugar in the body. Anytime you can have cinnamon, you want to be able to do that. People talk about even cinnamon toast, things like that. Again, it might not be the healthiest complete meal or food, but if you add cinnamon to anything, it's going to help regulate blood sugar. And so that's really a good move. So especially with these types of things where they're trying to get that sweetness and get that cinnamon in there, it will help. So little hack.
And it is organic, non-GMO popcorn. I did want to point that out.
Well, that's huge because well over 90% of the corn that's grown today in America is genetically modified. And so it's actually really tough to find a non-GMO corn. Usually have to go to like Brazil or some places and find some, and that's more expensive, obviously. So if you do have a chance to get the non-GMO corn, because we're huge corn fans, like corn, right? And so you want to be able to do that whenever possible, for sure. So
right.
Good call on that.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, so staying in the same chip vein, this brand. Okay, so here's the deal: they are fried. Okay, so as far as being healthy, it's not really what these are, but they are it's the CHEEZ-IT brand. Okay. CHEEZ-IT brand, and they have so many options for flavors and different, like this one is a lentil puff. This one uses potato, but all of their ingredients, this is what's phenomenal to me, is all of their ingredients are ingredients you know and you can read, right? How many times are we looking at a label, especially just for normal people like me, no, not you so much, but looking at a label going, I don't even know how to pronounce that, let alone know what it is in my food. Everything in the CHEEZ-IT brands is stuff that you know and you can pronounce, which is amazing. And as far as the fat goes, you're dealing with about 8 grams of fat per 23 pieces. So it's a bit better than the norm. It is gluten-free, grain-free, dairy-free, soy-free, some of them when you choose the ones that aren't the cheese for the dairy. But really, really better option as far as ingredients go. Okay, you're still dealing with fried, so keep that in mind.
What is CHEEZ-IT number? Is that number? Uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco, seis.
It's 8, right?
No, no.
No, 7.
Sure. Okay,
No.
I'll find it. CHEEZ-IT. Good job. Avocado oil, vegan, better choices.
Better choices.
Okay.
These are cool. Okay. Then we found the Good Crisp company in like, that's spicy, Doug. Don't do it to yourself again. And then like in comparison to Pringles, a bit better ingredients. You're dealing with a bit less fat. Still not the best option. We have the baked Lay's options, which has way less fat. Still dealing with some corn oil in this one.
The grain-free puffs.
Delicious.
Yeah, like you wouldn't think a grain-free puff. I know I'm backtracking a bit. Those are good, and the spicy, right? We got spicy. The hot one, that's our third hot.
That one gotcha.
So
3
the
for a
baked
loop.
chips, that's a big deal to us, right? Because those of us that love tortilla chips, right? Chips and salsa, things like that. Chips. I was raised, growing up and remembering just being able to get Pringles and things like that. And so it's a memory. It is tough to find, like you said, a real healthy option, but at least it's healthier to go the baked. And anytime you fry a food, you create a trans fat. You create basically a fat molecule that's easily turned into an oxidative molecule that oxidizes the body, or a carcinogenic molecule, one that will aid in, building cancer and boosting your body to actually have that environment that can, house cancer and let it grow.
Let me just say this as well. It is super easy. It is time consuming, and I realize that. And I know sometimes as busy moms, we don't have as much time as we'd like, but it is really easy to make baked chips in your oven, or to me, the air fryer is phenomenal. And you can do it from the whole wheat tortillas. You can cut those up and make those crisps in the air fryer. And you can do it from the corn. You can also, CHEEZ-IT also has an almond flour option. So sometimes Hilary has to take her bodybuilding brain and take it out, because sometimes the fat will mess with my brain when I'm being very, very strict about how much fat I can have. But understanding that healthy fat is healthy fat, and you can have the healthy fat. And almond flour, while higher in fat, does give you a different, better option if gluten is ever an issue. So anyway, so you can make those chips yourself. You just cut up those tortillas, you season them, you stick them in your air fryer. You have to keep an eye on them because they'll crisp up quick, but it's a really great option. And you can make them sweet or salty.
Yeah, it's actually probably my favorite.
You love when we do that.
Would be baked chips with good fresh salsa. Nothing better. Okay.
Yeah, so veggie straws came up a bit. So you're dealing with the same seed oil issues with the veggie straws. The option that I chose for the alternate for the veggie straws was the peas, the Harvest Snap peas. And the reason I did is they are baked, okay? It does have the canola oil in it. I like the fact that you're getting less fat per the same 28 grams. These ones is 7 grams of fat. The peas are 5 grams of fat. Also, though, you're getting 5 grams of pea protein with each serving with the Snap peas.
And this is less than 1.
And that's lesson one. And the ingredient list on this one goes on and on. And then the ingredient list here, we have, five ingredients. So,
And you always want to look at that. Sometimes the ingredient list isn't the worst situation if it goes on, if every ingredient, like say in our fruit and veggie powder or something, like, okay, well, it's this new berry, it's this and that. But most of the time, a high ingredient list means there's a lot of additives in it. And so,
yeah.
and you see these and you think, oh, I want to make the better choice and get the garden veggie. Is it a better choice than the straight up fried Pringles and that? Absolutely. But I do like the pea. Where's the pea one at?
Right here.
This is a Harvest Snaps baked green pea snack, so lightly salted. And this is one of those that a lot of people will pass by and not try because they're like, oh, there's just no way I'm going to try that and do that. There's no way it's going to be good. And they're actually very addictive. They're actually really good.
You do have to be careful with those because
you want to eat them, and they're actually really great choices that you'll get used to these really quick, and it'll be a go-to.
Still understanding there's like some canola oil in it. Also, though, I wanted to mention with the long ingredient list. So SIETE, for example, has a decently long ingredient list, but the ingredient list goes on to read chili powder, sea salt, ground dates, paprika, tomato powder, distilled white vinegar powder. So you just have to be cognizant and mindful of what ingredients
are foods, you're good. If the ingredients are not foods or you don't know what they mean, then usually that's something to steer away from.
Okay, so let's jump into some granola bars. MADEGOOD, we really, really do like the MADEGOOD brand. Then they have a number of different snacks as well. I thought I had made some notes, but I don't see it here. And then in comparison to like the QUAKER CHEWY chocolate chip brand. So with the sugar content, you are looking at just slightly less sugar in the MADEGOOD. The difference with the MADEGOOD is really the ingredient list. When you go over to the ingredient list with the Chewy QUAKER bars, it really goes on and on. And with the MADEGOOD, you're dealing with gluten-free oats, agave syrup, and then you have the chocolate chips and their ingredients. And then it does have the sunflower oil, but it's all organic oil. So I do really like this brand, and it tastes really good. These granola bars are really good.
And that is really important because these are the things you're going to look for when you're going on trips, when you're traveling. You know, we live 2.5 hours from Phoenix, from a big city, so we go down a lot. And that trip, you know, a lot of times you're like, well, okay, we take berries, we're going to take carrot snacks, things like that. But you just get to where a lot of times you need to have that go-to. And so you want to pick some healthy bars. This is an area that you want to spend a little bit of time on to pick the healthier bar. So really listen to what Hilary is saying. You know, things like the MADEGOOD and that, so much better than the QUAKER Chewy, you know, the chocolate chip and those types of things. And it's really critical that you look at that because these are the go-to on the road. We're going to go pick up doctors tomorrow, right? Yeah. Drive them for 3 hours to come see our facility and enjoy our little community. And you went out and picked those snacks. So we have snacks picked out for them to be able to eat on the way, which is just a critical thing, thinking ahead of time. So great choice.
Yeah, a little bit of planning goes a long way. And then I haven't actually tried these. I found these at our local health food store, Lee's Right Way. It's the Scout Organic brand. So you're dealing with everything organic. The ingredients in these bars, organic dates, organic peanut butter, organic strawberries, organic strawberry essence. So it's a really good option. I haven't tasted them. We'll see. We'll see how those. Oh, do you want to taste this one? Okay. Doug will taste it and Doug will let us know. So this one's kind of funny. I'm going to go into this one. I have a funny story to go with the Pop-Tarts.
Hey, can we check it? Chocolate chip. I'm a huge chocolate chip guy. And usually the super healthy chocolate chip stuff's like a no-go. The MADEGOOD granola bars chocolate chip is good. You don't have that deep, deep chocolate like you know sometimes some of the bars get. But it's still chewy in a good way, unlike cardboard and that with a lot of the healthier things. Yeah. So that's actually a really good choice. Thumbs up for MADEGOOD granola bars as far as taste. Really good.
Yeah, and it has like some vegetable extracts. It's got broccoli, carrot, tomato, beet, shiitake mushrooms, natural flavors. It does have some brown rice syrup, so you know we're dealing with some sugar. Everything organic there though.
Perfect. Yeah.
Okay, so I do want you to try these. Okay, so here's a regular Pop-Tart. Who doesn't love a Pop-Tart? I mean, honestly, who doesn't love a Pop-Tart? here is the slightly better option for a Pop-Tart. And I am talking slightly better. It is not healthy, but we did again hit Trader Joe's for this bad boy. So, funny story, every so often, Doug wants one of these healthier version Pop-Tarts. So, we have these in our pantry from time to time. Yes, you. So, there was one time we were in our old house, we were sitting on our front porch, and it happened to be one of those days, and he was eating this Pop-Tart on our front porch, and we had a neighbor walk by, and she was just disgusted. She was flabbergasted that Doug would eat a Pop-Tart. And I'm like, well, it is, but it's the healthy one. And she laughed at me thinking I was like, she didn't realize there was the better option. And so it was just so funny. But so here's the thing with the healthier option of the Pop-Tart. The main thing is it has the whole wheat flour. Okay, that is the main thing. It's about the same macros. You're getting a little more Pop-Tart, so it's a slightly better macros because your Pop-Tart size is larger than this one. So like it says 8 grams of fat, and this one, the bad one, is 9. Anyways, it's an option if every once in a while you have that moment and you're like, I gotta have a Pop-Tart. I want to know about those.
So, when we're talking about, what brand is this?
Scout
Organic Peanut Butter and Jelly Kids Snack Bars. Older kids, it's a go-to. So it's, you're in prep. We do it. It's really good.
That's really good.
You get a little bit of the extra peanut butter and jelly flavor as you eat. And usually with healthy foods, a lot of these healthy snacks, the aftertaste, you're like, oh, that's good. And then you're like, okay.
Yeah.
Opposite.
True.
The aftertaste is the peanut butter and jelly. Great choice. Give it a shot.
Yeah.
Thumbs up.
Okay, now we're entering cereals. These are not healthy cereals, okay? It's still a processed cereal, but this is one of the options that I came up with for a substitute for TRIX. Why would I want to substitute for TRIX? The main issue with the TRIX, honestly, is the food coloring. There is a massive amount of food coloring in these.
So TRIX is one of the cereal brands that's not allowed in other countries. In fact, just this week, I think Japan stopped the import of TRIX and some of the others, Kellogg's Corn Flakes, a few of the others, because of not just the dyes that are in them, but also because of BHT. BHT is a chemical that's used as a preservative in America that's not used anywhere else in the world. And now countries are banning products because the research is so strong showing the carcinogenic, cancer-causing effects of them. And even before cancer, or people that have good genetics and don't get cancer, it just affects your well-being and your ability to be present. So that's why TRIX and some of these are just, it should be a definite forever no-go.
So they taste pretty similar. Obviously, TRIX is going to have that more classic, like synthetic sweetness flavor, right? But this I feel like is like
the Trader Joe's.
The Trader Joe's tiny fruity cuties does give a totally different option as we're transitioning into better and better options. And the sugar content is about the same. There might be I think there's 1 more gram of sugar really in the Trader Joe's version. So, keep in mind, we're still dealing with the sugar. The other one that we have is...
You're just getting rid of most of the chemical factors with it and the different dyes.
Right.
Which is
right.
important.
The dyes are the big one. Then we run into the Cheerios. How often are we like, oh, Cheerios, I'm making a good choice. I'm making a good decision here. We found these Pumpkin-O's at Trader Joe's again. Slightly better option here. You're getting more per on the supplement facts, so slightly better sugar all around with the Pumpkin-O's.
And we do have the chemicals in the Cheerios that we really want to get rid of. So a lot of these options that Hilary is going over are the healthier version, but it's again kind of like that 15 years ago scenario where if we can at least clean up the chemicals when we do make some of these choices that aren't a fresh food, then absolutely it's going to make a difference. And I think that it's important maybe to backtrack really quick for those of you that are watching or listening to this podcast, is that everything we're going through today is not the healthiest option. The healthiest option is raw whole foods. We're talking
And I
about,
do have some of those options
yeah.
when we
So
finish up.
the raw foods are the best way to go. These are, in the world of processing, we need to start really making better choices instead of just getting whatever, because of the additional chemicals, dyes, things that are allowed here that shouldn't be allowed here. And it's starting to affect us. The accumulation effect is real. It's affecting our bodies. We're seeing it every day in people's blood work. We're seeing it across the nation, that zombie-like feeling that people are getting, where they're just dull. They're not at that high level of energy and vitality, that frequency, and they walk in the room. You can tell when someone's at that level. So I just really want to emphasize the importance of that as we're going through these, making better choices, but the best choice still is a fresh raw.
Again, we have another made good option. It's a Rice Krispie treat versus this is just a dollar store brand Clover Valley Rice Krispie treat. It's mainly just the ingredient list. You know, we're dealing with ingredients that you understand and can read. Still has sugar in it, so keep that in mind.
Invert canes, invert sugar. So you see invert sugar a lot. Can I talk about that?
Yep.
You're like, well, what's invert sugar versus, the non-invert sugar? So if this is a sugar, that's the invert sugar. Get it? Yeah. Okay, never mind. So invert sugar, for real though, is where you take sucralose and you go through a process with it that you actually will convert it so that it has more fructose in it and than the glucose. And it's a conversion. So at the end, it's actually the molecules flip. So they call it invert. But it's something that it's called hydrolytic saccharification, which is this huge word. But basically, you take and hydrolyze water, saccharin, and you convert it. So what does that mean? It's about 1.3 times sweeter than sugar, regular sugar. And we were concerned a little bit about the processing of it, obviously, but it's really just a sugar that's converted to become more sweet. So it isn't a healthy choice, but it's healthier than your synthetic sugars, like your straight up sucraloses, aspartames, things like that.
And as we're talking about the seed oil as well, we're organic here in the made good option, and where the other one is not. I'm trying to see if this one has seed oils. Also, it is 2 grams less sugar than this. And I know sometimes that doesn't seem like a big deal, but as you're going through your day and sugars start to accumulate, a gram here, gram there does start to make a little bit of a difference. Thoughts?
All right. Here's the deal. A lot of companies have tried to come out with Rice Krispie treat-esque products, healthier versions, right? But they're always really dry. You don't really get that marshmallow taste with it. I don't know why you haven't given me this before. This made good one is phenomenal. This tastes like a Rice Krispie treat. It's the first healthy version that legit,
Healthier,
if you just put this,
healthy.
True, good statement.
Yeah.
If you actually took these and put them on a plate and give them to your kids as Rice Krispie treats, I'd be willing to bet they would not know the difference. It's that good. So that's a much better choice if you're going to have not the healthiest treat, but at least a healthier version of it. Right?
Yep. Okay, I'm gonna hit my saltines really quickly. I found this brand a few years back. It is the Susie's Organic Salted Crackers. The awesome thing about these is that they're made with organic wheat flour, organic extra virgin olive oil. So it also has sourdough in it, and you're just dealing with all awesome ingredients that and including olive oil over any seed oils. So that is the big difference between the saltines and the Susie's saltines. Love these, and they taste delicious. So
a lot of times that, crackers, you get someone's not feeling good in that, it's like super crackers or those types of things. Getting the saltine crackers from like the Susie's is so much of a better choice, even in the healing process for people, because you're still going to absorb a lot of the acids and that which crackers could do a good job with, but you're also providing the whole grain, and you're going to get the fiber benefits from it. You're going to get the true vitamins, not the synthetic vitamins, to help. So that's a great choice. I would definitely stock your pantry with those and get rid of the normal saltines.
Yeah, so we have the Teddy Grahams brand, and then we move into Annie's, which has been my favorite. Annie's also has bunnies, sweet bunnies that you can get. I just didn't have any access to them here where we're from at Safeway.
I like sweet bunny.
Yeah, thanks, Doug. But you're dealing with the non-GMOs, the organic, whole grain with Annie's over the Teddy Grahams. And then we also have Simple Mills, which I really love the Simple Mills brand as well. This one, when you're talking about the flour blend, they are using, it's a seed and nut flour blend. So we're talking about watermelon, cashew, sunflower, flax, and really love the Simple Mills brand.
Are they on the seed oils?
So there's not seed oils. They use seeds to create
the flour. Wow.
And they use organic coconut sugar. So, I just...
Sweet things.
Okay, so moving on.
But do they pass the test?
I don't know. I'm sure you're going to let us know. Okay, then... So... into Simple Mills again. I love this option over a wheat thin option. With the wheat thins, you are with the regular wheat thins, interestingly enough, you have the whole grain wheat flour. I think when you go into the less fat version of this, it is enriched flour.
Yeah.
Don't quote me on that, but I'm almost positive that is the case. So these will always have a bit more fat because you are getting your flour blend from almonds, sunflower seeds, being the Simple Mills. So that's just something to keep in mind over the others, but really, really like that brand.
All right. Simple Mills, the seed and nut flour sweet thins, the chocolate brownie, really good again. So, and we're talking not even a few years ago, anytime you try to get something with a healthier chocolate, you get that aftertaste, right? Because they had to really mix a lot of the chemicals in them to be able to keep that chocolate flavor going. And they do a great job with this one. So if you're a chocoholic, a lot of the Grants, our family is, then this is a good choice. Shout out to my sister who should be doing this, because it gives you that chocolate and it doesn't degrade in the mouth afterwards, to this just yucky chocolate chemical taste. So good choice on that for sure. Simple Mills.
Okay. All right.
Good.
So this is okay. We're trying to finish up. Okay. So gummies, that came up over and over again. Here's my first thought on gummies. And I get it. I have kids. My kids grew up loving them. Gummies shouldn't actually be an option for a snack. When you're asking your children or you're giving your children a snack, gummies really shouldn't be the option for a snack. Gummies can be used as maybe a treat. Once you've finished your dinner, you get some, just something seldom, not an everyday snack. And it's because the sugar content is really high. Even going to Annie's, you're still dealing with a lot of sugar, okay? The fruit roll-ups here, just regular fruit roll-ups, my big problem with these is that you are dealing with multiple food dyes. Multiple. And then, you've got your first ingredient is corn syrup. So that's a big issue. Right here, these are such an awesome choice. It is fruit rolls. The brand is Bear. Okay. And the ingredients for this little guy in these, and they're fruit rolls, so they're rolled up. The kids love that. Ingredients: apples, pears, strawberries, black carrot extract.
Wow. That's a good blend.
It's a great blend. So on the same, talking about the whole gummies and the fruit concept, there are so many options for dried and freeze-dried fruits that make this so much easier than it used to be. So here is a brand, Mariani family brand, crispy freeze-dried pineapple. The only ingredient is pineapple. You have apple chips. The only ingredient, green apples, red apples.
It worked just like we were kids.
Okay, yeah. Well, I don't know what you're doing over there, but I dropped something. Okay, anyways, and then, yeah, no, I can't. I'm on prep. Anyways, and then Trader Joe's, and you can find these everywhere, just the option of like the fruit leathers where the only ingredients is fruit. Dried fruit, again, love Trader Joe's. What we're looking for is just the ingredient itself. So these are pineapple. We're just looking for pineapple. Oftentimes in dried fruit, there is
Sodium benzoate. Sodium benzoate. So basically, I'm a huge fan of dried fruit. I have fruit every day, and when I can't get the fresh fruit or berries, I'll go to the dried. And I was so happy years ago when we were at Trader Joe's, we found the dried pineapple rings. We were able to find them a few more places now, but you want to be able to find the fruits where they just take and just dry it, just straight dry it. They're not using any of the preservatives. The preservatives are the bad thing, is you have to be careful with that. So make sure, and they're not going to look the same. Taste is a little bit different, but you really can get addicted to that taste because it's a natural flavored taste. So huge fan.
And if you're giving these to little ones, remember these are a little bit harder to chew. So definitely those ones that the little ones that can chew.
So can we backtrack just a bit?
Also, before you backtrack, applesauce is a great option. This one, organic apples, it's the only ingredient. So when you're looking for the sauces, the fruit mixes like that, look for just the fruit ingredient itself.
Fruit rolls, phenomenal. So the best fruit leather is to take our fruit veggie.
Yes, I was going to say that. We will add that recipe, okay, so that people can make that.
To the show notes.
Yeah.
So basically our fruit and veggie, which is the highest antioxidant powder on the market, right? 40,000 active antioxidant units. There's a recipe to be able to make fruit leather from that. And then now you have something that is actually a truly healthy snack, that you're truly boosting the body's ability to be able to have a stronger immune system and vitality in that great way. But for the, just to be able to buy in the store, the fruit rolls, good job.
Right?
The thing that I'm really impressed with.
And these I just got at the local Safeway.
Safeway? Mm-hmm. The thing I'm really impressed with is that I haven't tried a lot of these things. And from years back of trying the healthier snacks and be like, come on, okay, we're going to eat them, but it's because we have to situation. They've come a long ways. And a lot of it has to do with the fermentation process, because we use that in a lot of our formulas, to where you can take the fresh whole foods and be able to, through fermentation, create a higher flavor that brings the ability to rival a lot of these processing, foods where they use the chemicals and these other ingredients. So I think we're at another level now. Basically, there's no excuse to not look for and have healthier options that are actually really good. So,
yeah, and just another disclaimer: there are probably going to be times that you see me eating things that I should not eat, and this guy probably as well. Keep in mind the dose. What is the quote? Makes the poison, right? So if it's something you're eating every day, it's going to be a really big issue. If it's something you have once every few months, there's a reason your body was set up the way it was. It's to get rid of
kidneys, liver. They're to filter.
Filtered.
No.
Okay, so let's give me the cookies. Let's go into the cookies really, really quickly. So this is so funny. Oreos. Everybody loves Oreos, and I get it. They're yummy. So as we were trying to find the better option, we used to every once in a while buy the Numinos brand to have the better option for Oreos, right? But other than the fact that you're dealing with organic ingredients in the Numinos, it's still unbleached wheat flour. You're still dealing with sugar. The organic part is better, but really sugar content is
it's just a little cleaner.
Same, a little bit more. It's just a little tiny bit cleaner, right? So then then what do? I really love Oreos. Okay, so Simple Mills has the nut butter stuffed. And you'll notice that these are open because somebody that I live with opened them the other night. It's like, okay, those are pretty good.
Okay, if you grew up on milk and cookies, almond milk and those, that will satisfy your milk and cookie craving.
That you can satisfy once every couple of weeks.
And max.
Max, right? Okay, so, and that was Simple Mills again, right?
So yes, is the rest of the day raw food? Yes.
So the other brand that I really liked was the Partake chocolate chip cookie. It has a gluten-free flour blend, a lot like the other brands. Organic light buckwheat flour, gluten-free oat flour, cassava flour, tapioca flour, and then organic fair trade cane sugar, non-GMO sunflower oil, and then it goes into the chocolate chips, gluten-free oats, water. So I actually do really like the Partake brands as well.
And they're hypoallergenic,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah, nut-free, egg-free, wheat-free, dairy-free, soy-free, fish-free, shellfish-free. You know, it goes on and on. They're tasty. They're really yummy. So as an option, those are good. Candy. Let's talk about candy. Here's the deal. Candy.
What do we have left? Candy and
Candy is candy. Okay. And so when we're just trying to find better options for candies, the number one thing I think is trying to get rid of the dyes. Let's try to not have the candies with the dyes. This Unreal brand has no dyes in it, and it has, as far as ingredients go for candy, really decent. It does have the cane sugar, but it's got the organic blue agave inulin. It's got the sunflower lecithin, but is it organic?
So a lot of that too, like the inulin,
organic
really
cane sugar,
fiber, things like that, and so much better choices.
So the total sugar content for the 30 grams in the Unreal is 14 grams of sugar, and in the M&Ms, it is 19 grams of sugar.
I think the biggest thing with that is M&Ms are extremely processed with high amounts of dyes and different ones, red, blue, yellow. Not even trying to use foods as a color base, and extremely, extremely chemically rich, and they cause a clouding of the cell. They cause electrical currents not to function properly. In other words, nerve impulses from the brain. Research showing that even affects your dopamine, serotonin, your happiness, your energy levels, all from these dyes. And so when you combine them, like in M&Ms with multiple like Skittles and some of those that are just multiple dyes, then it really is damaging. You want to stay away from that. So you want that healthier choice for sure.
Okay, so the Yum Earth brand for like a Starburst replacement is really far better. Still candy. We're still dealing with candy. We're still dealing with sugar, but there is no brand or no dyes in the Yum Earth, and then you're dealing with organic ingredients. So keep that in mind.
And growing up, we all have, candies that we grew up with. And I remember Starburst growing up and a lot. And so to have a healthier version of that is really, really cool.
We keep using the word healthier.
Healthier.
I mean, better of the bad. Better of the bad.
That's good.
I don't know. Or
maybe that
strategically eaten. When you eat it, how you eat it is very important. Okay. Still doing candy. Swedish Fish, Sour Patch. All the kids love them, right? We are dealing with major dyes in these. These are the options that I found at Trader Joe's. You have the super sour Scandinavian swimmers, and you've got the Trader Joe's Scandinavian swimmers that are not super sour. Still dealing with a lot of sugar with these. The only benefit is that you are not getting the dyes with these. So just keep that in mind.
Very Starbursty. That's a good choice.
Yeah.
Am I still going to be sick? Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So now we're going to jump into the, I had a few people mention like Slim Jims, and this cracks me. This reminds me of my father. Like nobody's eating that anymore. Yep.
Reminds me of Macho Man.
We are. Oh, well.
Macho Man.
Randy Savage.
Ooh.
How about that? Okay. Okay. So the ingredients in these is just is wild. Okay, so you have the pork and the beef. It's got dextrose, corn syrup. It has red dye in it.
In the beef jerky, that's
crazy.
crazy.
And it has the nitrites.
So remember, we like in food, like in beets, things like that, we have nitrates, convert to nitrites, to nitric oxide, which is really, really good for the body. And you're like, oh, well, we see sodium nitrite and all these things in these other foods that must be good for you. No, this is the chemical version that actually converts into an oxidant in the body. It oxidizes, rusts the body. You really, really want to stay away from that, especially if you're a man, which most men are more prone to the jerkies, because it has a direct link to colon cancer, with those chemicals, the sodium nitrites, those types of things that are in almost all processed meats. So that's why you go to the deli to be able to get your meats. You don't want to buy things unless it says, nitrite free on them. But almost all jerkies have those, and they're
Slim Jim, Jack Links, no bueno. Also, you're getting 6 and 5 grams of protein for each of those. These brands, we've got the Archer brand and we have the Chomps brand, and they're both turkey, and they are both 9 and 10 grams of protein. So you're getting more protein in them. You are dealing with way less ingredients, no nitrites, and they're good. There's all kinds of flavors, lower fat. Yep. This one has 2.5 grams of fat per stick. That one, I'm not sure because you opened it.
1.5.
But you just guess that, or?
A little chewy.
I mean, it's still a meat stick. You're not really a meat kind of guy, so I don't know how much you
really
like it anyways.
But I really like it from the standpoint of not getting that chemical, right? BHT, those types of chemicals. You can start tasting those after a while. Especially the cleaner you get, the better you're able to taste and feel the chemicals in the processing. It'll actually turn you off versus being attracted to them. You want to be able to get your body clean, go for a while without any of these processed foods. Your cells will start to resonate at that level. So when you do taste them, you're like, oh, there's something in there, and you can tell. With this jerky, it's very clean. It's much like our brother-in-law that we'll make and bring over once in a while, where it's just straight jerky without the additives in it. Good way to go. That's a good choice.
Okay. Now, do you want to hit these bad boys?
Let's do that. 1 second.
You finishing your snack over there?
Okay. So sodas are absolutely the devil. They're the one thing that you really want to try to stay away from. And if you love a soda once in a while, it really needs to be very far and few between. Like it's something you look forward to and have once a month, things like that. Because to start with is the carbonation, the carbonic and phosphoric acid. You need one of those things to make a soda. And it's that acid that will leach calcium from the body to help cause osteopenia, osteoporosis. It is that acid that gets into the muscle so that it doesn't allow you to recover as fast, and you actually are sore longer. And it's also that acid that can create things, especially with women, like fibromyalgia and all these problems. It also causes indigestion. So we know that the acid is bad for you all the way around. More acidic environment, the more prone you are to bacteria, virus, and disease. So straight up, you want to stay away from carbonation if possible. But is there a lesser evil of the carbonation? Absolutely. And that's some things that, you can look to be able to take in if you're going to have a carbonated drink once in a while, but you don't want all the other additives. Because when you start adding the sugars, and worse than that, the synthetic sugars, like people, it drives me crazy. Well, I have a Diet Coke. It's healthy. I have a Pepsi. I have
that will make dumb.
Oh, that drives me absolutely bonkers because it's actually a lot worse for you to have a diet soda versus a soda because of the aspartame, sucralose, and those things. And the problem nowadays is you get these so-called experts out there claiming, oh, they're not that bad for you. And we're finding out that most of those influencers are being funded and getting kickbacks from the pharmaceutical companies that make the aspartame, the sucralose, and those types of things. So you got to really beware. But it makes sense. And all the way back at ASU in that's a while back, 90, 91, one of the master's degree students in a class did their thesis on aspartame way back then and showed the damage that it caused, Alzheimer's, chemical damage to the brain. And we know that these synthetic sugars are extremely bad for you. You have personal experience with sucralose, those types of things. So diet sodas out. Regular sodas really should be far and few between, if ever. And that has to do with the acid, and it's due to just even the normal sugar content is high in them.
Right.
And then you have the other chemicals in that. I mean, we know the original Coke had cocaine, right? And so they've taken it out. But there's other chemicals in there. And so Coke is bad.
Let's go with the
So
Coke.
is there something worse than Coke?
Oh.
Right? Is there something? Coca-Cola, there is. This is the bad of the bad. These are the worst. They have great teams with sports all around the world. I love that whole thing. But this is the worst drink, in my opinion, carbonated drink on the planet.
What drink?
Red Bull. Red Bull. And the thing with Red Bull is the way they combine the chemicals and the dyes in Red Bull versus other drinks, it causes calcification in the kidneys. And we've had more people have kidney stones, healthy people, including a family member, from drinking Red Bull. So I'd highly recommend stay away from Red Bull, at least until they change the recipe, because it is kidney stone causing. And if it doesn't cause a kidney stone in you, it's still doing that calcification throughout the vessels in the body, through areas of blood flow, lymphatic system, bloodstream, things like that. So extremely bad. And that kind of shows you the effects of when you combine things, right? You're combining chemicals like dyes with acid. When you combine things like that together, it actually creates a completely caustic molecule at a higher level. The synergism goes the wrong way. It synergistically makes it worse by combining those. So those are the bad. Some of the healthier choices is like Zevia. Did you say Zevia?
Zevia.
Stevia. Because they don't have the chemicals in there. It's still carbonated, right? But you don't have the dyes, you don't have the chemicals, the synthetic sugars that are in there. So it's a healthier version of, right? So to have, so if you want that soda taste.
It also has, like this one also has, I think 45 grams of caffeine. So if it's like a caffeine and soda kind of addiction thing that you're looking for, this is a better segue.
And they'll use stevia most of the time in the Zevias to be able to sweeten.
That is what they use, not most of the time. Yeah.
So that's a lot better choice if you're going to have a soda. And I want to, as Hilary gets to the final stage here with the healthiest snacks, which I just love, quick little story, okay? As you start making healthier choices and your presence is healthier, well, people will watch you and they will follow you because they want to be healthier too. And for a while here in Arizona, right, I guess it'll be 110, 115 and that. And so you get hot, get sweaty. Okay, I got to get something really quick. Sometimes I drive by the dollar store, and I'd say for like maybe a month period of time, going in there 3-4 times, I would get the natural aloe drink, which is not healthy, right? It's natural aloe, aloe would just not carbonate and have all those things, but it has a high amount of sugar in it, right? So it's aloe vera, sugar, and water, and that's pretty much it. Not the healthiest choice. It's kind of my treat. I knew I could handle the sugar extra at the time and all that. But that's what I got. Well, we went back in a few months later, and the girl working at the dollar store is like, hey, I just want you to know I'm doing so much better. I'm being healthier. I get those drinks that you get, and I have one every single day, and it just makes me feel better. And so thank you. And I'm like, what? She just watched what we did and then started mimicking it, started modeling it. And I just felt terrible because here was my treat. She was thinking this is a healthy way, to go for like her vitamins type thing. And just be aware that people will model you, especially your children.
Choice than the Coca-Cola in front of it.
Yeah, and that's the point I've made finally. I'm like, look, this is healthier than the Red Bull and the Coke, but no, this is not your vitamins. You're not getting healthier per se. You're just limiting it, but just be aware of that. And that's why we want to go to the healthiest.
Okay, so here we are. And I'm a mom, I get it. I'm a grandma, I get it. Our kids don't always want the healthy options, but here's something really cool is that when we offer them a variety of snacks, if we give them an option across a plate and we have different options, it tends to help them try and go for different things. So with a banana in general, I feel like unless your child has an aversion to bananas and the texture and they won't eat them, a banana is such a great choice because of the richness of a banana. It also lends itself really easy to dip into or to have peanut butter, right? So it's a total texture, different flavor. It offers the ability to do sweet and salty. Pick the better peanut butters. Don't get hydrogenated peanut butters.
Banana tip, do not open it from this end. You open it from this end. Look at that smooth operator. You got nothing else from this podcast? You learned how to eat a banana.
Thank you, Sensei. Anyways, the other thing is grapes. Also mindful of little ones trying to eat grapes. They need to be able to chew. You can cut them in half if you need to. I don't think I probably need to say that, but grapes are so sweet that kids love the flavor of them. Freezing grapes kind of makes them a different option, like a treat option. Doug loves a frozen grape. My grandson, so for a period of time, not right now so much, but blueberries are a pretty big staple in mine and Doug's life. We eat blueberries a lot. So because my options were kind of limited as we prep, I would take blueberries and I would sprinkle a little bit of stevia on them, and I would sprinkle chili lime seasoning. My grandson, my 2-year-old grandson, loves that. And if sometimes he's wanting a gummy snack or whatever, I can get this out, sprinkle those things. He helps me sprinkle what he wants, and he loves it. And he loves the fact that it's a little spicy. So that is like just this phenomenal option, right?
One second. 1 handful of blueberries. Okay, so 1 handful of blueberries within 20 minutes increases your cognitive function 10 to 13%. So immediate benefit for brain health, for clarity and focus.
That might be the reason my grandson's so smart.
That's it. And so that is a great way to go. I highly recommend, this is a larger container, but you can buy the smaller containers of these and take them to work and go through, eat them through the day. That's going to handle a lot of your cravings, and at the same time, it's giving you better focus. Is absolutely one of the best things to do. Highly recommend it. Big fan of blueberries. One of the most phytonutrient, antioxidant rich foods on the planet. And doing the little trick, that little hack, and adding, some of that to it. Sometimes even a little tahini like that. Super good.
I think it's tahini.
Tahini?
Mm-hmm.
E?
No. Strawberries are a big one with little ones. Just make sure you wash them well. And then like carrot sticks and celery sticks, you can have those with a healthier dip that you can make or find. The options for healthier ranches and that kind of thing have really come a long ways. The string cheese, when you're looking for, some people don't do dairy. I got it. This isn't for you. For those that do, not a bad option. And the Sargento one, I actually like this brand.
You can find the raw.
If you can find raw, that's it. That's the one. Do that. And then also the Okios. I like this brand. I'll tell you why. I like it because it is sweetened with stevia, and it still has some of the yogurt cultures added to it. So the added sugars per container is 5 grams of sugar. So there's some options.
You did a great job.
Thank you. This was so fun. I have never had so much fun preparing for a podcast in my life. Remember to always try to segue into the raw foods as much as possible. And then just make those baby steps into other options for your kids.
A great Stoic said that the health of the nations depends on the way they feed themselves. And that is so true. We rank down the very bottom as far as health is concerned in the world, which is crazy. We should be number 1. And the destiny of the country really depends on the way we feed ourselves. And so it's really important to take this seriously. Hopefully we can have a little bit of fun with it. I know it's a longer podcast, but it's critical that we understand the importance of that statement, that the healthier our cells, the more we can be present, the more we vibrate to that, the health, the energy, the vitality, the happiness. We get the brain chemicals giving us that benefit to stay motivated and excited about life and serving other people, versus when we're clouded, we're not there and we can't react when people need us. That's why I think that the destiny of the countries comes down to how we feed ourselves. So this is very important stuff. Thank you so much.
I also believe our kids love to be involved in just about anything as they're growing up. So allowing them to be involved in preparing their food and their snacks will really help. When you're juicing, allow them to help you juice. When you're getting fruits washed, allow them to help you. Cutting, give them a little butter knife and allow them to prepare and be part of their health journey. I love it.
Awesome. Thank you so much. As always, this is Miss Natural Olympia Hilary.
And this is Doug the Formulator. Thanks
Keep
for
going.
joining us.
Healthy stuff.
You've been waiting for that.